Hey everyone, welcome to Inktober, drawing number 9. This one, I had no idea what I was going to do going into it. I'm sort of out of, characters I draw a lot, and I don't want to start repeating characters quite yet. So I'm like, okay, let's just come up with things that are interesting ideas for a character concept, and then build on that. And for this guy, I was like, okay, I don't have a really overweight character yet, male or female. And I wanted to pull that in. And then I didn't really have, I wanted to do something with a more unique body shape. So I wanted to do okay, let's make him a little husky. Even though his clothing and shield ultimately cover that a bit, you can tell the guy's got a little heft to him. And then I was like, okay, what's a unique head hair, facial hair combination? Well, bald. I almost never draw bald people. So I went with bald. And I went with a giant-ass beard. Almost a monk setup with the bald plus beard. And then I'm like, well, I don't want to do a monk, but I still had that robe in mind, doing a little thumbnail. And I added on armor. It's almost armor in the style of the character I did for day 4. 1, 2, 3. Day 3, where it's almost got some Art Deco vibes to it. That was me picking up the stack of drawings and counting them out to find when I did that one. But it's not as heavy on that as the previous one, and I think it looks a lot better for it. Because I like the idea of Art Deco armor, but I should have done a couple more design sketches for the previous one. And for this one, it works as a oneer. He's got this little sigil thing on his left shoulder, which I think I intended it to be a bird with a wing, but it doesn't really register like that as much. Looks more like a fox or something, sort of curled up on the shoulder, which is fine too. And then going with his design, I initially had him without a shield and just a giant spear. But then I was sitting there and sketching, I'm like, oh, what if I did a staff? And then what goes weird with a staff? Well, you never see anyone use a shield with a staff because it makes the staff kind of ungainly. So yeah, I went with a shield and a staff for his armaments. Which is actually, come to think of it, maybe one character would do that. I think I've heard of, maybe. But you never see a giant quarter staff, a wizard staff, and then the wizard's holding the shield. Not even a buckler that has no negative AC penalty on the offhand. So I wanted this weird combination of things, and then his background is much more organic. It's obviously still some form of urban landscape, but I wanted to have more trees with his stuff. So his area he's from would be, I don't want to use the term Selesnian. I tend to end up using these Magic the Gathering terms because they did a great job designing the various areas of Ravnica. So, I mean, yeah, he's not what I would call Selesnian. Nor would any place in this world be what I would really call Selesnian. But that concept of a city with a lot of greenery and monolithic, but still kind of small details still in there. With the trees growing everywhere. That urban forest concept is really cool to me. So yeah, we have this guy he's probably in a park somewhere, and then you got giant trees all over the place. So you do kind of get this idea that he's from a place with a lot of green in it, despite it being an urban environment. And yeah, that's what I wanted to go for him. And he actually has sky above him. I think technically we've had the character from a couple days ago with the bridge over her head, she had a bit of sky in there, but it wasn't a lot. And this guy actually has quite a bit of sky. And I was like, okay, I should put some clouds in there, but I didn't. I think I scribbled some in with a pencil, and I was like, that's not gonna fly for me. if I were to put clouds in, it'd go, you know, the thing I've said pretty much every video, I'd go to Photoshop for the clouds. Otherwise, I think a clear blue sky would be kind of interesting here. Or take a single color and just do a gradient of it, like yellow even. Or maybe some sort of purpley, reddish blue. You know, a little bit of purple thrown in the sky. Ultramarine would work there. Something like that would be kind of interesting for the sky. Or I'd go yellow. Yellow is always an interesting sky color you don't see a lot of. And then, yeah, pretty much it's standard stuff. I'm working on getting my perspective looking better. The building directly behind him I could have maybe redone a little bit, but all the buildings kind of have like these like crests on the top almost that are just like a simple shape. And the shapes vary from building to building, and then everyone has a little tuft of greenery on top. Because to me, like, the top of a building is almost wasted space when it comes to places where the sun hits. So you could put solar panels on buildings, you could put gardens on buildings. You build the top right, you could even get maybe a couple small trees up there. So I'm like, okay, this place would obviously have trees on top of its buildings. Small ones. Like you can see on the building directly behind him, directly next to it to the left is a giant tree. That's growing very, very near that building. So, yeah, it's obviously not a tree on top, but still, it's stuff. And the character would probably be on some sort of elevation, actually, given how big he is compared to the more or less straight perspective line to buildings behind him. That may be the one mistake on my part for this drawing is not pushing some 3-point perspective on these structures. So if I push that a little more, I think it would be more dynamic, because it is a little flat. All my other stuff I tried to, that has the backgrounds, I actually tried to push it a little bit. So the first one with the investigator character is you're looking down on him, and you're looking out in turn down on the cityscape. The second character with the background, it's definitely Dutched, and you're getting a little 3-point in there. With the way it's set up. And then, you know, our mechanic character, that's a little flat, but you have the foreground with him. Same thing with the one from yesterday, there's a lot of foreground. So yeah, this guy, he's a little on the flat side, would be my one, like, oh yeah, that's a thing I screwed up on. Like, he is almost pushed in that perspective a little bit, and then the buildings are just stock straight up and down. And it flattens things out a bit. So I'd probably, you know, get that 3-point perspective going a bit, and that would make that drawing an A. And that's drawing number 9. Oh man, now I have to think up what I want to draw for tomorrow, because I'm not out of ideas, but I'd have to think up ideas. I think I'd have to sit down and be like, okay, I've drawn this, and this. It's time for me to draw this. I didn't go from that. And come up with a unique character design for tomorrow as well. Luckily, I'm a little bit ahead on this. I'm not really cheating and doing all my drawings all at once. But I am, I think, at this point now 2 days ahead. So I have a bit of a buffer while I think up of what to do for number 10. But that's going to cover number 9. Thanks for watching this video, everyone. You can check out my gaming channel, following the link in the description below, and of course, as always, my Patreon. You're going to see a link on the screen, and there's a link in the description below. So thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you tomorrow for number 10.